the best way to deal with something is to, if it's the director that you're having conflict, do it quietly, behind the scenes, between takes. Don't blow up and bring everybody's energy down.
Hi, I'm Alex DeLerma, and this is the Cinema Gym. If these videos are helping you and you want to see some more, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's keep this thing going. Bill Castrogiovanni, you're back on the Cinema Gym podcast.
Great to be back, Alex.
Thanks for coming. I need your help with this topic. This was suggested to me by an actor who I coach from time to time online. This actor's in Jamaica. I'm not sure if this actor wants me to reveal their identity for coming up with this topic. So I'm going to keep it on the down low. But if you ever want to send me a topic, go for it on YouTube, the Cinema Gym podcast, or on the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Good topic. And the topic is actor-director conflict. So, there's a lot of drama in front of the camera and there's a lot of drama behind the camera. And this particular Jamaican actor was telling me, hey, can you talk a little bit about that on the podcast? Because it's uncomfortable. And what do you do, in that situation? Have you ever had a situation on set with the director?
If it's the director that you're having conflict, do it quietly, behind the scenes, between takes. Don't blow up and bring everybody's energy down. But also, especially on larger projects, there are other people that you can communicate to. You could talk to the AD. You can talk to someone on the producing side to help bring a mediator into the conflict, before things get out of control. Also, like I said at the start, having these conversations early on so that you're on the same page will help to kind of potentially prevent these types of conflicts.
So talk about expectations.
Right. So definitely setting expectations early on. As an actor, sometimes, and again, it varies from project to project, how much time you're going to get with the director, but maybe having conversations, after a table read or before you get to set about, what are you hoping to get from the scene? What's your kind of tone for it? I'm also the type where I do have, I do want to bring my ideas to set, but I'm very much of the mind that the director is the media, the director is the creative decider.
You anticipated my next question, which was, how about an actor who has, a very strong opinion of how the character should go, and has had communication with the director, and they seem to be on the same footing, and then suddenly it all changes. I don't know if you've ever seen those YouTube videos. You can look this up. I Heart Huckabee. In fact, I used to play this in class for you guys. Lily Tomlin and David O. Russell, who's the director of that film, I Heart Huckabees, had a historic blow up. So
in that clip, I should say, I was the Dustin Hoffman who saw the conflict happening and was like, I'm leaving. And it just sort of walked out,
Yeah. So in that situation, the actor and director are on the same page, and then suddenly the director changed it, and then the actress was not happy. How would you suggest that maybe, I guess you're probably going to repeat the same answer you had, a second ago, or I don't know. What would you do in that situation?
Well, first of all, sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes you need to step out and say, hey, let's take a moment to kind of, step aside and, calm ourselves a bit. And then we can come back and revisit. Also, sometimes, again, having a mediator, someone who doesn't have a stake in the argument to kind of help settle things is another helpful approach. I think something you had mentioned in the past, finding an arrangement not between actor, director, but between, director and cinematographer, was to come up with sort of a numbering system as to how important this is. You want to talk about that?
Sure, that's good. Yeah. So on one of the movies that I directed, I was having a little bit of a conflict with this, in this case with the cinematographer, because they want to do their best work. But then, on anything I've ever done, which is, 2 features, tons of shorts, a 12-episode web series, I'm dealing with different people. But cinematographers, They're all like, they want to do their best work. And so they're not fully aware sometimes, budget constraints and time. And because that's my job, because I'm usually the director and producer and or one of the producers. So I'm wearing two hats. And so I was having conflict with a very talented, nice cinematographer because, as a lot of cinematographers tend to do, it's only going to take 20 minutes. And 2 hours later, I'm falling behind. So we had conflict. We had words, and we did it privately, but it soured the relationship. And then, to his credit, I know he wanted a good working relationship. I did too. So then I think in a day or two on set, I said, listen, why don't we do this? If there is a scene that we're doing that on a scale of 1 to 10 is really, really important, really crucial, I'll tell you, this is a 10. And that means, like, don't take all day, but okay, I get it. We want to futz some more. We want this to look good. We want production, and if I'm falling behind, and I've got some scenes that are just, really, if we had a second unit, I'd say this is a 3 or this is a 4. And it really wound up, making that a better marriage, artistic marriage, because of course he thinks everything's a 10 and he wants everything to be a 10 because he's a good cinematographer. But especially when you're talking about independent filmmaking, it ain't in the budget. With the actors, if there's a director watching right now, you can do the same thing I did with cinematographer, but you can do it with the actor. And I think that's where you were going, Bill, is, take the actors aside and say, I know you want more takes. I know you're passionate. This is the business. And as I've said in other episodes, hey, the filmmaking gods are not with us today. I'm having equipment failures. I'm losing this location. And you tell them, listen, let's agree. This is a 3 on a scale from 1 to 10. So let's not go crazy. We got to move on. So let's put in a couple of takes. And trust me, if I say, we're good enough, because it's a 3.
You've mentioned something in there that I also think is important to underscore, and that is everybody involved wants this to be the best thing they can be. Everyone's on, they want to be the best director. They want to be the best actor. They want to make the best story together. Yeah. And so it really is, in my mind, about trying to get on the same page as to how we do this. Yeah. Like I said, I'm very deferential to the directors. Now, as a producer, I'm much more, I want it my way. But when I'm working work for hire, when I'm brought on the set, I believe that it's the director's vision. Yeah. And so I may have my ideas, I'll pitch my ideas, but at a certain point, if the director doesn't want that, then I just defer to what the director wants. Yeah. Also, very important is to understand where you are in the hierarchy. If you're just coming on for, if you're coming on for an under 5, you're not going to have any sway with the director. Yeah,
you're the cab driver for 5 lines. Right. Where are you going? Yeah.
So, but look, conflict is inevitable. You're working with different personality types. Yeah. You're working with different methods of communication. And so you have to find the best way to help understand each other and get on the same page.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I was just going to add that I agree with you 100%. Your work for hire, the actor has to do what the director says. I agree with that.
I think it's also an extension of what you said is you have to, or to summarize what you said, is to learn to feed yourself as an actor, because you're not always going to get that direction. A more experienced director might, ask you to mix it up or do things. But if you, find something new in every take so that they have more options in the editing room, you're ultimately doing them a favor.
Yeah, that's a directly related topic. On this one, I want to say that if you're having a conflict with the director and they're not open to ideas and you feel you're way more experienced and tuned into the character, and they don't have as much experience, then I'm saying one of the options is the first take of every camera setup is for you without telling the director. That's not sabotage. You can disagree with me. Now, to go to what Bill said earlier. But what if they then come to you and say, stop doing that? I see what you're doing on the first take of every camera setup. Then stop doing it, because that is the director. So I'm with you on that. But unless they slap your hand,
Completely agree. But at the end of the day, the goal is to try to find a common ground.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
And so conflict is inevitable. Know that it's inevitable when time is on the line and money is on the line.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. You got to be
just-
respectful of time. Yep.
And just do your best to be a collaborator and not try to make it all about you.
Yeah. Part of the conflict that happens between actor and director is this. An actor comes up to the director. This happens all the time. It used to frustrate me as an actor. I'd say, I got a great idea. When I come in first and I say that line, if I take a banana and then I'm just, peeling the banana and then I say the line, okay, I can see it playing in my head. He can't. He's running behind, or he's tensed up because he didn't get enough sleep last night because he was rewriting these scenes. And so you're expecting them to go into your head and see that little movie play in your head. And this is another reason I say, don't tell the director, show the director. So that could mean, do you have a minute? Sure, I got a few minutes, because they're still lighting. Bring them over. Hey, Bill and I came up with something. Can you just watch the opening of this? I grab the banana. I'm doing the line with Bill. I'm waving the banana at him. And the director's like, now he sees it. That's not quite right. Eat the banana, and then that's good. Even better, I'll eat the banana. Right? So don't tell him, show him through an impromptu rehearsal. Or worst case scenario, if you're not running out of time, just do the first take your way. And then if they get mad at you and say, don't do that, then stop it. Don't do that. Or they might go, that's interesting. Keep doing that. The Cinema Gym is all about helping you transition from the stage to the screen. If you're interested in classes, seminars, or private coaching, you can visit the website. Hope to see you in the gym soon.
thecinemagym.com for virtual one-on-one coaching for camera.